Welcome back to Pause and Grace. I'm grateful that you're here today. Wherever you're listening from, whatever kind of week you're coming out of, whatever you're carrying into this moment, I want you to settle into something steady and true. Today we're talking about something simple, but deeply freeing. Stay in your lane. Not in a defensive way, not in a prideful way, not in a way that pushes others away, but in a way that protects your peace and preserves your obedience. Because if we're honest, many of us are walking with God while constantly looking sideways. We're praying, but we're also comparing. We're growing, but we're also measuring. We're trying, but we are also questioning whether or not we are trying well enough. There's a quiet pressure that follows believers, especially in a world that puts everything on display. We see testimonies that seem dramatic. We see people who appear spiritually disciplined, bold, unwavering. We see progress that looks fast and visible and polished. And then we look at our own journey and it feels slower, quieter, less impressive. We may not say it out loud, but inside we start to ask, am I behind? Should I be further? Why does my growth not look like that? Why am I still working through this? Why is my change not more dramatic? And that is where comparison begins to distort calling. In John chapter 21, after Jesus had risen and was speaking to his disciples, there is a moment that speaks directly to this. Peter had just been restored. Jesus had just affirmed him. And then Peter looks at another disciple and asks about his future. He wants to know what will happen to someone else. And Jesus responds in John chapter 21, verse 22. If I will that he tarry till I come, what is that to thee? Follow thou me. In other words, that's not your assignment. That's not your lane. What is it? What is that to thee? Follow thou me. That response, it's both direct and freeing. Jesus does not give Peter the details about someone else's journey. He redirects him back to his own. Follow me. Do not measure yourself against him. Do not compare outcomes. Do not worry about your pace. You follow me. And that same truth applies to us. Your steps may look different. Your progress may look different. But we're not trying to walk with others. We're walking with God. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 says, let us run with patience the race that is set before us. The race that is set before us. That means that there is a specific course marked out for you. Not a course marked out for your friend. Not a course marked out for a person you admire. the race that is set before you. And notice the word patience. It does not say run with panic. It does not say run with competition. It says run with patience. Patience implies endurance, process. It implies that growth may not be instant, but steady. The world measures progress by speed. God measures progress by surrender. The world celebrates visibility. God honors faithfulness. The world applauds a quick transformation. God forms character over time. When you begin to understand that, comparison begins to lose its grip, because you'll realize that your journey with God, it's not a public performance. It's a personal walk. Psalms chapter 37 verse 23 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way." Ordered steps, not rushed leaps, not chaotic sprints, ordered steps. If God is ordering your steps, then he is also ordering your timing. He is ordering your timing. Then you're not behind. You may feel slower than someone else, but slower does not mean stagnant. It means you're being shaped at a pace that he knows you need. Some of us have believed the lie that you must have everything in order before you can come to God fully. You think you need to clean up your habits. You think you need to overcome certain struggles. You think you need to have a dramatic testimony before you can be taken seriously. But Scripture doesn't support that idea. In James chapter 4 verse 8, it says, "Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you." It does not say, become perfect and then draw near. It says, draw near, one step, one movement, one decision. That is enough to activate his nearness. Romans chapter 5 verse 8. "But God commandeth his love towards us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." While we were sinners. Not when we were polished. Not while we were perfect. While we were yet sinners. That means his movement towards us preceded our improvement. His grace met us before our growth. So why would we believe that we need to be fully transformed before walking closely with him? Zechariah chapter 4 verse 10. "For who hath despised the day of small things?" We often despise small beginnings. We despise small steps. We despise slow growth. But God does not. Small obedience repeated consistently produces transformation. Small prayers prayed faithfully build intimacy. Small decisions to turn away from sin strengthens discipline. Small acts of faith build endurance. Comparison makes small obedience feel insignificant. But heaven sees it differently. Heaven sees the private prayer that no one else has heard. Heaven sees the moment that you chose patience instead of anger. Heaven sees the quiet return after you've drifted. Heaven sees the decision to show up even when you felt unworthy. And heaven rejoices over willingness. Galatians chapter 1 verse 10 says, "For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ." You cannot live for God and live for the approval at the same time. If you're constantly adjusting your pace to satisfy observers, you will exhaust yourself. You are not called to impress the crowd. You are called to follow Christ. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 2 instructs us, "Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith." Looking to Jesus. Not looking at everybody else. Not looking at the person who seems to be ahead of us. Not looking at who appears more disciplined. We're looking to Jesus. When your eyes are fixed on Him, your steps become steadier. When your eyes drift sideways, your footing becomes unstable. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." Waiting does not mean you're failing. Waiting means you're trusting. Renewal does not have to look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like quiet endurance. Sometimes it looks like continuing when you feel unseen. And sometimes it simply looks like staying faithful in a season that feels ordinary. Some of us may be in ordinary seasons right now. No fireworks, no big announcements, no visible milestones, just daily obedience. Do not mistake ordinary for unimportant. God does some of His deepest forming in ordinary days. He strengthens the roots before He displays the fruit. In John chapter 15, it speaks of abiding. Abiding is remaining connected. It's not striving. It's not competing. It's remaining. When you remain in Him, fruit grows naturally. Fruit does not grow by comparison. Fruit grows by connection. Staying in your lane means accepting that your calling is unique. It means accepting that your growth pattern is specific. It means trusting that the one who designed your path understands your pace. It means believing that forward with God is forward, even if it looks small. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 36. For ye have need of patience. We don't really like that verse, do we? We want acceleration. We want clarity. We want arrival. But patience develops perseverance, and perseverance deepens faith. Faith anchors identity. Your steps, they may look different. Your progress may look different. But you're not trying to walk with others. We are walking with God. And if you're walking with Him, you're not behind. If you're walking with Him, you're not disqualified. And if you're walking with Him, you are not wasting time. Micah chapter 6, verse 8 says, What doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Walk humbly. Not sprint arrogantly, not compete aggressively. Walk humbly. Walking implies steady progress. Walking implies relationship. Walking implies presence. As you move into this week, release that pressure to keep up. Release the pressure to prove. Release the pressure to measure your journey against someone else's highlight reel. Keep your eyes on God. Take the step in front of you. Trust that the one who ordered your steps knows exactly where you are and exactly how fast you need to move. So stay in your lane. Follow Him. And remember, the goal, it's not to keep up. The goal is to follow. I want to thank you all for sharing this space with me. And I hope that the week ahead of you is full of joy, happiness, and peace. I will see you guys next time.